All right, so the mid-season finale has come and gone, and man, it feels like I got broke up with. Like that's the way I felt when that episode went off was like a girlfriend breaking up with you and not really giving you any explanation.
You felt like you were down in a sewer tunnel, just lost and forgotten.
Such a
down.
I really didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't think the show had the balls to do that. I'm not to be up for. I did not think that they would actually kill Carl. We had discussed it, and I was like, saying things that I had read, but man, I did not think that they would actually kill Carl.
Let's be fair. He is still breathing.
They haven't officially killed him yet.
He's still alive, and they say he's going to go out with. They didn't say a bang, but they said he's got a lot left.
He's going to shoot himself in the head. He's going to go out with.
I can't do this. Boom.
Well, I mean,
That's not what we were
they
expecting.
say 1% of the population is any pandemic or whatever. 1% of the population's immune, so maybe he's just lucked up and got that lottery.
You think he's the one? He's the cure.
Hey,
that would be really cool, but I feel like a lot of folks would consider that to be like a huge cop-out.
That's definitely not going to happen.
It'd almost be like pretending to kill someone and then finding them a week, a few episodes later under a dumpster. Which a lot of folks were not happy with that. So, but yeah, so it looks like Carl is a goner. I think he's got a little bit more time left. I was telling Matt and JP and I looked at it earlier. If you want to see the moment Carl got bit, because Scott Gimple said that they had filmed it. And they thought that they had honestly left too much in there, that people would figure that out, and they were pleasantly surprised to see they didn't. But if you want to see the moment Carl gets bit, go back to episode 6, where he is with Sadiq, where they're freeing the souls of the zombies for Sadiq's mom.
How ridiculous.
And if you remember when Carl gets taken down, you think it's just another close call. But in fact, actually pay attention. So Carl is fighting off one zombie. He pushes that zombie off of him. Watch the zombie that he pushed off of him, because that's the important one. The next zombie comes and he grabs it kind of by the throat, and the zombie he pushed off, you can see crawl and right up to the spot where he gets bit, and then they, like right as he's going to get bit, they cut. And then when they come back, you can clearly see, like after Carl shoots him in the head, he has I showed you his facial expression. He even kind of winces in pain like he just got bit. Then he shoots the zombies, he stands up, and he actually stares at the bite. For a few seconds before he tells Sadiq, what does he say? I'm in charge of you. I'm responsible for you, or whatnot. So you actually, if you want to see the bite, you can go back to the moment it happened on episode 6.
I thought maybe he just had his keys in his pocket and he fell on those. That's what that grimace was
you
for.
were hoping.
I've done that before.
Oh yeah. The worst is when you sit on them. You have them in your back pocket. And you sit on them. It pinches like the top of your leg. It sucks. But anyway, so going back to the beginning, let's see. I had written down that Andrew Lincoln is just such a good facial actor. Like he does such a good job conveying like all of his emotions with just his face. Like,
what little we got to see of him. That was
no shit. And it's like, he's sitting there, and you just see how dire he realizes the situation has just become just through his face. And it was good to see him and Carol get together again, because we don't really see Rick and Carol, at least here lately. They haven't been.
It's been a long time,
yeah. So,
I can't remember the last time they teamed up.
Is it like, do you think Carol has like a sixth sense? Because you notice she's always in the right place at the right time. Like she saved Ezekiel and Jerry a few episodes back. She also saved them in season 5's premiere from the termites. Carol just seems to have like a beacon that goes off, and she's like, I'm needed. And
it's true.
And she's there.
Just put that Carol signal up in the sky, and
what would that look like?
Oh, geez.
A big C?
It'd be a big cookie.
Big acorn cookie.
Yeah, acorn cookie. There you go. Just floating there in the sky. Like kind of looks like a circle.
I always wondered what that cheesy stuff inside acorns tasted like, but never found out. Not gonna find out.
I was gonna say you can go find out.
Yeah, it's
pretty easy.
There's a lot out back, a whole lot.
Yeah.
If you want, we could go gather some, and you could try them right here on the podcast.
Maybe next episode. We'll save that for the mid-season premiere.
You got 2 months to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
So we need to go pick some acorns, and hopefully they might not be good at that point. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I put on there. I was like, when I was writing my notes to myself, I was like, do not kill Jerry. Do not kill Jerry. When it was showing all those faces, I was now's. And so I do applaud them for at least not being, for me anyways, not being crazy predictable, because I knew Jerry was going to die. And then when Simon brought him out, I was like, okay, Jerry's gone. We've loved him. I was really hoping to see him grow a little bit and be a mainstay in the show. And luckily they didn't kill him. Just poor Neil in the back seat got
iced. Yeah.
What is the character from Pulp Fiction?
Oh, Marvin.
Is it Marvin?
Yeah.
I was like, when he shot, I thought he shot Jerry at first, like the way, because it was just dark. It's just such dark, it's filmed, and I don't know if they put filters on it to make it that dark or what, but so when he pulled out and he shot, I thought he shot Jerry, and I was like, I even wrote down, something to the effect of like, we'll miss you, Jerry, or something, and then it was like, oh, wait, that wasn't Jerry. That was positive Neil in the back seat.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being positive, because he's like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he was being very positive on their ride, and it's like, that's what you get.
Not so positive anymore.
Never be positive. Never.
No.
I had put, if you noticed when they were doing the face, because they did it twice, in the beginning and then towards the end, where they did the montage of faces. If you pay attention, you notice how everyone's very serious, and when it gets to Negan, he's smiling. It really just shows you how he's almost like a child. Like, to him, this is all just a game. Like, it's just almost like he's doing it just for fun. Like, he's excited to get there and excited to attack, while even the saviors with him look like they're taking it a lot more serious than he is.
And he was leaning, too. You could tell he was doing that lean. Smiling and leaning, man.
Smiling and leaning.
They've been doing that a lot this season, though, the montages of different people at the beginning. And then they bookmark a lot of things. I think I've said that before. Bookend, sorry. So, like, something will happen at the beginning, and then they'll echo back to it at the end.
Yep, something will happen, and then it kind of ends. It connects. Yeah, I didn't even notice. I hadn't even paid attention to like the bookend. That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that, but they do. They show you something in the beginning, and then they relate to it in the end. And
they've also been doing a lot of time jumps in episodes where it gets very confusing. I was
going to say,
on like when did this happen?
Right.
Okay, what is going on? When did Rick and Carl? Okay,
because you see that and you're like, oh yeah, they got away from Alexandria. Oh wait, this is a flashback.
They need to go back to using the black and white.
Now, who wasn't? It was Matt. You weren't a big fan of the black and white,
but now that I see what they're doing without the, I was wrong. Yeah, bring back the black and white.
Bring it back.
If it has to be either that or this, I'll take the black and white.
At least when you're in a time jump, as opposed to like taking a few seconds to be like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
They didn't escape. And poor Aaron. It's like I feel bad for him. He's riding with Enid. And, when Enid made that Carl comment, too, I was like, oh, boy, this is not...
You should know you're with Enid. Nothing good is going to happen when you're hanging out with Enid.
She has the opposite beacon of Carol. She's like, I need to put someone in danger.
Poor Granny.
It's a regurgitated acorn cookie.
Yeah.
That's her... Oh, poor Granny.
Yeah.
That's what I had written. I wrote down, like, if you were going to try to make an alliance, like start a friendship with Oceanside, that was not a great way to start.
But Granny, you don't just go walking around in the dark whacking people.
We've been telling her that time and time again.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
And then I was so glad to see Michonne being a bigger part of this episode than she has in the last few, because she's been acting on other projects like Avengers and Black Panther. So she's been
a Tupac movie.
Well,
she was in that, right?
She was, but that was
like last. Yeah, that's true.
But so she's busy. I mean, she's a talented actress, so I'm sure we're going to see that continue as
she got her licks in,
and she's got such a cool
Good
name.
God.
But man, and so I do want to say that I do agree with the comment that Miss Bubs for Fun left about her not being soft. I don't think she's soft. I just wish that they would throw her back more on the front lines. They've written her, and probably due to the fact of the movie, so it's really not anything they could help, but they've written her more as like kind of hanging back, watching the kids, when what I'm saying is I want to see her back on the front line, because I don't think there's many people in the show that could take Michonne in a fist fight, like full on, especially if she has her sword. She's like one of the most...
Even if she didn't have her sword.
Yeah, she's one of the most... Well, she didn't with the governor, and she still popped his eye out. So, I mean, it's like she's one of the most badass characters on the show. What I was just saying is that you're right. She's not soft, but I wish they would do more like we saw last night. Like Havoc's, when she stormed into Alexandria, I was like, oh, God, it's going to be Michonne that's going to die. Like, she's going to go in there to save Carl, and then she's going to get killed. And luckily that did not happen, because I would have been so sad.
I am looking forward to seeing how the whole Carl death, or I'm sorry, the alleged Carl death.
Yes. Let's not get ahead of her.
The next episode will start with him under a dumpster.
Yep. They keep getting different layers. Like, we got under a dumpster, now we've got in the sewer.
Yeah,
like what?
He's under a drain that's under a dumpster. So when he goes to open the top, like,
that's funny.
Hit the dumpster, and he's like...
But I'm looking forward to the dynamic between Michonne and Rick.
I think it's because they're going to have
to because they're both losing something. I mean, I know this is Rick's son, but this is kind of like a son to Michonne.
She's definitely been the mother.
So they're both losing someone.
Yeah,
and
you know how close
what's it gonna do their relationship?
And Carl are. Remember in season 4, episode 9, where they're in the house after that, because that was like the last time I really hated Carl. That was when Rick had gotten beat up by the governor and all, and he's about half dying in and out, and Carl's like, I don't need you, and finds out he does need Rick, and then. From that point on is when I really started liking Carl, once he kind of got out of that rebellious teenage phase and started getting with the program. But in that episode, remember at the very end, there's a knock on the door, and Rick looks out the door, and it's Michonne. It doesn't show it right there on the spot, but he looks in the door, and then he looks back smiling at Carl, and he's like, "It's for you." And then the next episode, you see it was Michonne. So like Carl and Michonne are super, super tight. I think it's going to really hit her. How extremely hard as well.
How much time has passed since episode 6?
I'm thinking
we were
that's
just
what we were
wondering about that.
discussing,
Yeah.
and I really feel like, and I hate that if I'm wrong on this, I apologize. I feel like it was in the same day. I feel like 6 was Carl with Sadiq,
Right.
7 was Rick with the Saviors, and then Daryl breaking through the sanctuary. I feel like all this was supposed to be happening right around the same time. So I'm feeling like it happened earlier that day, no more than like a day ago, but I'm thinking it happened that day. Are my thoughts. Because, I mean, typically people don't last. What did Jenner say? Something like it can happen in like a few minutes. It can happen as much as 36 hours or something.
I guess it just all depends on your metabolism.
Right. But yeah, so I think it's been within the day. And like I said, if you really want to see that, go back. It's kind of hard to watch now that you know what happens. Like, you really feel bad for Carl when it's happening. You're like, oh, damn it, that's...
Have we ruled out that Sadiq may have bit Carl?
Yes.
Who knows?
Oh, that's true.
I'm pretty sure Scott Gimple, because I did
I'm
watch
sorry.
some of the
I'm so
talking.
sorry.
Yeah. I didn't mean to, man.
Excuse me.
I was trying to bite the zombie.
It's a terrible
and you
Sadiq
moved.
impression.
Let's see, but that is a great Eurotrip impression.
Thank you.
Excuse.
Such a good movie.
And then Daryl, the whole... It's like, Daryl, you screwed it up. Now they're giving the credit to Eugene. So for the Daryl, the Daryl lovers out there are going to hate me for it. But I'm just like, no, Daryl, you screw things up. You get Glenn killed with your temper. You acted before you truly thought this out. I get why he's mad. I get why he's furious. But he needs to realize he doesn't make the best decisions when he gets
in the heat of the moment.
Right. Yeah. Whereas Rick sometimes makes. I feel better decisions because like when stuff hits the fan, man, Rick gets like focused.
He does.
And turns into like a
He doesn't
ninja.
blink. He sweats profusely.
Yep.
Those bangs just dangle.
And here's something to think about, because I had thought, all right, Carl wrote a note to Rick. And when that happened, I remember thinking, oh, man, that's foreshadowing. But if he just randomly dies, like, what are the odds he would write his dad a note and then, oops, he accidentally died? So now I'm taking that as he knew he was bit, so he wrote a letter to his dad. Perhaps when Rick's crying, we see the flash to the future when Rick's crying and he says, my mercy prevailed over my wrath. Perhaps that's what like the end of Carl's note is saying. You know what I mean? Like Rick's reading that note, and that's where he's reading.
Wow, that'd be some knowledge for Carl to drop. Just to like where?
I think he got that from Sadiq, right? Isn't that where my mercy prevails over my wrath?
I think so.
And so, like, I feel like that's going to be in the letter. Maybe, Rick, maybe it's after the war's over, because, I mean, they look like from the sneak peek that they're going right back into the war. So maybe afterwards, when they're trying to decide what to do with Negan, he'll read the letter, and that'll kind of sway him to keep Negan alive and in the jail cell that Morgan built, as opposed to executing him like he wanted to.
I actually watched the next season, what's going to happen, and I don't know if it's the same day or whatever, but Rick and them, they bounced right back.
Oh, man.
I think what they'll do is more than likely, obviously, like they'll leave to finish it, and then in the thought that Carl will be there when they get back. But again, you just never know with this virus, man. Like, people die. Shane turned instantly, which he was dead, obviously, but then... which Jim lasted for like a day or two back in season 1. So, maybe Carl's got, a little while left. I think that they'll leave him to go fight, and then Carl will do what Carl best, and like he'll sneak off and he's going to do something. I don't know. It's going to be badass. It's going to be sad. It's going to be heart-wrending.
Did they let Andrea turn before they shot her, or did they shoot her in the head?
She shot herself.
She shot herself. Okay. But Michonne was with her.
Right, yeah. Like cause she got Rick's gun, and then basically Michonne wanted to be with her, because that was,
so we don't know how
so
long.
sad. But
Okay.
I wasn't a big Andrea fan, so when that happened, I was so sad for Michonne, because Michonne had spent the entire season trying to tell Andrea, like, look, my gut doesn't lie to me. This place is screwed up. These people are wrong. Let's get out of here and survive. And Andrea just wouldn't listen, and eventually it got her killed. And I'm sure Michonne carries a little guilt for leaving.
Yeah.
So I felt so bad for Michonne, but such a good scene.
I bet it has to do with like where you're bit as well. Just like with a rattlesnake, if it bit you in one place as opposed to the other, the venom doesn't carry as quickly. So.
JP, you're such an expert on rattlesnakes.
Smart.
It's creepy
Rattlesnake.
when he brings them to the station, though.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't do that.
Not that into it,
I didn't even
JP.
know they were indigenous to this area.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, actually, there are some rattlesnakes
Up in
been
the
spotted.
hills.
Nowhere safe.
It's like, all right, so more of a reason to stay inside and play video games.
Burn it all down.
So, but like I said, when Carl was writing the letter at first, I was like, oh, God, this is foreshadowing. He's going to die. But it means even more now because it had like sad music playing too when he was writing it. But it means even more now to know that he was writing it after he got bit, like he knew his time was coming. So, and then we saw Just Survive Somehow, which takes it back to what, season 6, right? With Enid.
So.
Yeah.
When we learned her whole back. Because we were podcasting when that happened. And I think that was season 6. So
Just Survive Somehow.
Yeah,
Is that what it,
JSS.
It just feels such weird words put together. Just Survive Somehow.
I wonder if
somehow
that's,
just survive.
Like I get the point of them showing it with Carl, but I wonder if he's looking at it now just like
Just somehow survive.
Just shut up.
Survive.
It's too late for me to survive. Y'all survive somehow. I don't care. Tara seems like she'd be a great moving buddy. I mean, she really had an arm full of stuff.
I don't like Tara.
I don't like Tara either. I'm ready for her to go.
That was a really weird, like, comedic style moment.
Right.
Where she was like, yeah, put that on there too. Oh, yeah, and that. Oh, yeah, that too. Thanks. That too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's something you don't see from the show that often.
Right.
Like, and it's cool that they work that in, but it's almost awkward when it happens because you're so not you're not used to there being comedy aside from like Negan. So when they do throw in almost like a buddy sitcom romp type joke, it's just like, we see Enid got her hands dirty by killing Grandma.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, definitely not the best way to start off what's supposed to be a new relationship with the Oceanside crew. And what was the grandma's name was Natiana?
Yeah, it was something weird like that, yeah.
I'm sorry for not knowing it, but honestly, Oceanside was like one of my least favorite episodes ever. I've watched it like twice, and both times I was like glazed over. So, but yeah, the grandma, I mean, Enid, come on, man. Like,
that was the perfect time for a comedic moment. Someone, pop out and say,
hey!
I thought Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Oh. Then the granddaughter's like, why am I
what is up?
Yeah, she's dead. But yeah, so Enid, and then, man, does Negan not have some of the most awesome intros ever?
Yeah.
Like, I loved hearing him on the megaphone, and it's just like, I mean, it's so crazy how skilled of an actor he is that he can be funny yet very intimidating in the same breath. You know what I mean? Like, you're laughing at the things he's saying, but you also kind of feel like you're there with him, like, holy crap, this is going to be bad.
Oh, the whole him and Carl exchange.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I thought we were having a moment.
You little asshole.
And like I said, it was very chilling yet comical. And then let's see. And then Matt, you would I think you'd agree with this. People on The Walking Dead are just as accurate with their T-bone timing as they are with like guns. Because again, another instance of like, characters are riding, bam!
That scared the crap out of me for a second too. It just happened. I wasn't expecting it. All of a sudden, I was like, what in the...
Here comes a vehicle out of nowhere.
Body tensed up.
Nobody saw, and bam.
how did they do that at that full of speed?
Right.
I mean, I guess they were. There was one moment at the beginning. Go back and watch it when Aaron asks Enid if she wants to drive, and she turns and he's like, "Where are you going?" And this man, he's in the passenger seat, but he looks to his right like he's trying to figure out where he's going. But then the camera cuts back. There's that whole paneling on the side. So, dude, what are you looking at? Why is there still paneling?
Maybe
right
if
here?
I stare hard enough, I'll see through it.
I mean,
it worked for Superman.
It was very.
Aaron doesn't talk redneck, so I don't know why I'm doing redneck.
He can though. He does. Ross Marquand does good.
Man,
impressions.
he's an amazing. I was actually just watching earlier this morning some of his impressions. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite actors, I think, on the show. It's why I'm glad they're starting to kind of work him more into the main fold. I really hope that they keep him there. So Ezekiel starting the episode off down and out, but quickly got over that ish.
A call to arms.
Yeah. I thought everybody was going to load up in that bus he was driving.
I did too, and I thought he was going to get him out of there. I feel like the Saviors would have caught him, though. I mean, the Saviors... Remember the RV, like they were trying to get away. I feel like,
I guess the bus isn't the best getaway vehicle.
They accelerate very slowly. It's like, ha! You're like, oh, come on.
But if you pull the sign out, they have to stop. Like if people are chasing you.
Oh, that would be amazing. The Saviors are behind him, and it's like you see Simon. He's like, guys. He pulled out the sign. Just wait.
The first thing I thought when the Saviors are coming into the auditorium or whatever, and like Ezekiel goes to hide, he gets in that big box or whatever. I thought he was going to start making tiger noises to like scare him off. Like they don't know she was dead. So yeah. Oh boy, there's a tiger. These tigers
that was
in here.
A really good tiger.
I had something caught in my throat. I wasn't even trying to do a tiger.
Wow, that was. If I was in a room and I heard that, I'd be like, guys, clear out. The tiger's obviously still here.
Well, I'm going to add that to my resume.
But I mean, the Saviors are hitting back hard, dude. Like I think it's really, I saw a lot of people saying negative things about this episode. I've actually got a lot of good things to say about it, but that might, it's like, I really like how up until now, the whole theme has kind of been like, oh boy, Rick and the team have pulled together and they're going to win this thing pretty easily, and now it's like just showing you each location how Rick and company are not in control at all. Like
that's the thing. Aside from Carl, the big reveal in Carl, which is the last minute, I don't feel like anything happened.
Really?
I really don't feel like much happened in this episode.
See, I did, but I mean, that was just me because it was so many different things. Like, we're going to get to like Maggie's whole thing here in a little bit, and then we see like the whole, kingdom ordeal. So we're seeing how each location is dealing with the saviors coming down hard on them because, man, they got out of the sanctuary, man, and they are hitting hard. I mean, like,
that's true.
I wonder how long they had to plan this. You know what I mean? Like, all right, here's the deal. Just screw shit up. Go.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I didn't get, I expected the episode to open, everyone's still staked out at the sanctuary. It's like they drove the truck into the facility and just pieced out. They were like, well, I'm sure that worked fine and everyone's dead. Let's go back home and come back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can spin that, but they didn't want. Daryl's been so headstrong and cocky lately that maybe you're just like, yeah, it worked, it's fine.
I get, but I mean,
like
you're,
I said,
you're
they said,
starving them out.
No, it's fine.
They said Eugene had some, so I mean, it's like basically, somewhere in there, Eugene's come up with some plan to draw the walkers away because they took out a lot of walkers that got into the lower level too.
Yeah.
But
even still, I would have stayed, and anything that comes out that's alive, you shoot. You don't just leave and expect the zombies to do your work for you.
Well, you are right. I didn't think of that.
Mean,
like Daryl and them crashed the truck, and I think just genuinely thought that the zombies would take care of all
insane.
of it.
When I saw Daryl and everyone back at Alexandria, I thought that was a flashback. I was like, wait a second, why are they not at the sanctuary?
That's why we don't let Daryl make the plans.
Yeah.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate here that in this episode, Jesus literally took the wheel. He was driving this Maggie.
I didn't make that connect. That was good.
I bet that log in the road was kind of a terrible flashback for Maggie because remember in the season 6 finale, that's what they kept encountering with like things in the road and all these obstacles. So as soon as she saw that,
she knew.
She played it like oh shit, I know exactly what's happening that way. Like I really think she's really come a long ways as an actress herself because. Dude. I mean, I'm a really big fan of Maggie as it is, but I just feel like this episode too, she really did the Andrew Lincoln thing we were talking about, acting with the face. Like she didn't even have to speak to show what her character was feeling. And I imagine as an actor, which I've never been, but I can't imagine that's probably not as easy to do as you think it is. Because in your mind, you probably feel like you're making all these perfect facial expressions, but you don't see what you're doing.
A lot of times you got to practice in the mirror that night or that morning before.
It's really awkward.
It's very awkward looking at yourself.
What are you doing? I'm having a stare off here.
That's the thing. If they know you're an actor, they don't even question it. They roll their eyes and keep walking.
If I break eye contact, I show submissiveness.
But Lauren Cohen, what was the movie? The Boy? Is that what it is? The horror movie that she did.
I remember it.
Oh yeah.
The Boy, was that what it was?
Doll,
because I've seen. I don't know. I was in and out when it was on. It's not that great of a movie, but she's great.
Isn't that what your prom date said? You were in and out.
Nice.
Yeah.
One time.
Wow, you used your own joke. Yeah. Wow, JP. The gloves came off this podcast.
I don't know, man. We've been hanging out too much. Yeah, gets me now.
And so as soon as he stepped out, I'm like, frickin' Simon, man. Like this dude, his death is going to be very satisfying, I feel. I feel like when he dies, it's going to be like, yes. You hate to see him go because Simon Ogg is awesome. Like he does, like if you play Steven, damn. But if you play Grand Theft Auto,
oh my god,
like he plays Trevor so good. And then when I found out he was going to be in The Walking Dead, I was super, super excited. And I mean, he plays a villain like really well.
It's his voice.
Yeah,
like his voice is very. I don't know if it's because it's Trevor's voice that I'm hearing,
right?
But it is like Simon Ogg's or Steven. Now I'm saying
there
it too.
Dude, I knew in my mind. I know it's Stephen Ogg. I don't know why. You know why? Actually, you know why Simon comes out? Because that's the name of his character on the show. And literally right here in front of me, what does it say? Effing Simon.
I don't have my glasses on. Oh yeah, it does say that. There it is.
So like when I say
get milk. What is that?
It's just something I need to do before I go home.
Okay.
But no, he and I wonder if they. Because he plays so close to Negan, it's almost like they told him when like coming up with this character, like, all right, so your deal is, you're Negan's right hand man, but dude, you want to be Negan. You know what I mean? You're charismatic like Negan is. You take a lot of kind of notes from Negan because, he's a lot like Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the sense of he's just so charismatic when he comes out, like all attention is on him when he has the screen, which I think is a
And he's not as like sadistic when he executes someone. Just bullet to the head. He's not bashing their head in with a freaking baseball bat.
Negan wants to send a message. I mean, he wants to paint himself into your brain.
And who's the skinny dude that had the kingdom people?
The skinny dude that had the kingdom people.
Yeah, he's like one of
I don't know.
One of Negan's board of commissioners.
Yeah, to be completely honest, and I know we'll get burned for this later, but
Tobin, is that his name?
No, Tobin is one of the people from Alexandria. But no, he's the one that was meeting with Ezekiel and them. Remember, he was the savior in charge of the whole Ezekiel rendezvous where they were meeting away from the kingdom.
Is it Gavin?
That could be.
This is a sweet list you've got here, man.
Yeah, I've got you a good cast list here, but I honestly don't...
let me know who that... I can't forget his name, but I don't like him. I think that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, no, you just don't see him that much. You saw him during the whole Ezekiel thing, but that's it, So, no, I don't know, man. But though, to me, he almost seems like he doesn't want this to happen.
Right.
Like, sometimes, like when Negan's talking, you don't necessarily think that Negan doesn't want to kill somebody. He just wants people to do what he tells him. Mm-hmm. Same thing kind of with Stephen Ogg. But this guy played it, and I mean, if this is what they were going for, good job to the actor. He played it kind of like he really was. Like, come on, guys, please, like, just tell me where Ezekiel is, and we don't have to do this. Like, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this, but I don't want to die, so I'm doing what Negan's telling me to do. And there he is. So he did a good job playing, because that's one thing I did notice was he did look like he did not want to be there. But then, the kingdom got sieged this episode. Lots of,
should have built a moat.
I really, 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 really like to see Carl taking charge. I thought it was awesome. He is like Rick's son, and I love that, of course, we're getting our best Carl moments right before he dies.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see him step up and start commanding people, like, go here, do this. He's a boss, man, a little kid. You got to think, man, Rick and them were grown-ups when the apocalypse happened and just adapted. Carl has grown up in this, you know what I mean? So, I feel like he is the best equipped, down the road, the future that he's never going to get. He would have been a great leader having grown up through all of this, But looks like that's not going to happen. And then, let's see. When Jesus, I noticed if you go back and watch the scene where they're sitting at the roadblock, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like shining the flashlights. Look at Jesus, like he's got his hands on the wheels and he looks mad. It's almost the look you get when you get to a checkpoint. You're like, I hate these stupid checkpoints.
I hope they don't know that I'm hammered.
Here's my license. It's like he won't roll the, like, what if he did, like, you see these videos where the people on the internet won't talk to cops, so like they'll crack their window a little bit and they're like, I don't feel safe. And then they end up getting the window broke and drug out the car. What if that's what Jesus does? Like, he cracks the window and goes, for my own protection, I am going to keep the window cracked. Here is my license. Here is my insurance. I have nothing else to say. Like, this guy's good. Scorched earth, Dick. That sounds like a terrible STD, but that was hilarious. Negan's like, okay. And then Carl stepped up. And like you said, I love the exchange between him and Negan right there. And now you see really where Carl's like, no, kill me. Which
now we know why.
Just made me lock up when he said that. He's like, just kill me. I was like, no. And he knew he was going. They asked Scott Gimple, they were like, did Carl say that to buy time, or was he completely willing to die? And Scott Gimple said, from the writing standpoint, no, Carl was... He would have sacrificed himself if Negan would have been like, come down here and I'll kill you and... we'll leave, that'll be it. Then Carl would have done it, because he knew he was going, and his whole mission now was to keep these people alive and survive as long as he could. And
it's so quicker and cleaner.
It felt, well.
I mean, if he takes with the baseball bat, if he gets cleaner? One good solid crack. Well, maybe not cleaner.
Maybe but it's going to take more than one crack. I think he'll probably take a couple of them.
Well. And we see how that worked out for Glenn. Which, don't get me wrong, he did go overboard on Glenn and Abraham. Like, they were long dead while he was still hacking away.
Trying to prove a point. I get it.
So it's like, I don't think it's going to be cleaner.
How solid is a teenager's skull? I know as a baby you got that big soft spot. Is that totally gone by the time you're a teenager?
I think it is.
Carl doesn't have.
I think that's why if you hit your head when you're older, it won't be as bad as if you're a baby and you drop your.
All right. Well, I'm going to take your word for it.
Please do. I am an expert on baby skulls.
It's an interesting.
I watch a lot of Discovery and Science Channel, so yeah.
I said I had put down that I hated that I wasn't a Carl fan in earlier seasons, because in the last few, I think the moment where I knew that I really had converted and started liking Carl now instead of seeing him just as kind of this little dumb kid was season 5 when the termites are in the church and Rick and all of them have left supposedly to go take him out, and Carl is hiding in the back with Judith. And, the termites are creeping in. You see Carl, he gets the gun, and he kind of like creeps to the door, getting ready. And I remember watching that episode going, man, I'm going to tell you, Carl is really a badass. Like, I mean, I don't doubt for a second that Carl couldn't take half of them out himself before he got. And so I hate that it took till now.
I started enjoying Carl when they were outside of the prison, him and Herschel, and he guns down 2 of the governor's men when Herschel's like, no, they're going to surrender.
No,
it was only
or
one guy.
Was it only one?
It was only one
was
kid.
It only one
yeah,
guy?
it was only one kid.
Well, that's I like that.
But it's an odd moment to really start liking Carl. I guess you just saw at that point that he was willing to do what had to be done.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking chances.
Not in that old hippy-dippy nonsense, Herschel.
Well, they explained it too. Hippy-dippy nonsense, Herschel.
We're taking no prisoners.
But they explained it. You got to look at Carl's life. Like, he's seen multiple times that hesitating can get someone killed. Look at, like, Dale and the Walker. Like, he didn't put that Walker down when he had plenty of chances to, and that Walker came back and it killed Dale. Then also the Andrew, that prisoner that got loose, and, the Kevin Hart-looking guy that you thought was dead, but then he came back. That got Lori killed. So every time there's been hesitation, someone dies as a result. So that's why Carl at that, in that scene where he shot that guy, it's like, dude, look, I mean, every time we hesitate or consider letting someone live, one of our people die. And he's just, so yeah, some great.
Sweet, naive Herschel.
Like I said, 3 or 4 is when I started really, really liking Carl. I remember by the end of season 3 when they were going to like let all the Woodbury people come in, and then, he's like not happy. Then I was like, screw you, Carl. Like, hope you go. And then, like halfway through season 4, I'm like, I like Carl again. But love the exchange. Loved when Carl leaves and Negan's like, I thought we were having a moment, asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. And in the comic, it was cool because they used grenades, whereas in the show, they stuck with grenades. They just gave them launchers.
Yeah, the RPGs, right?
Like, phoom.
Man, they were accurate with those things. Houses blowing up left and right.
It was really.
In the previews, I learned that I really want a Roomba, by the way. They had a review of watching, like, you watched it like live, the TV, the commercials. I really want a Roomba. They had a. Anyways.
The holidays.
Yeah. But I was putting that, Carl's such a badass. Like, as far as character development, I thought they did a great job. I mean, it does suck that they've kind of sidelined Carl and then they bring him back full force just for him to die. But, we've seen Carl step up before, but I feel like this episode was like a whole nother level of Carl stepping up. And so if we head back to the sanctuary, we've got Ezekiel being all Batmanish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I loved it.
Carl was being a little Batmanish, too, with his, like, smoke grenade disappearing trick. That was...
Oh, man, I've got that down here, and I think Matt would appreciate this the most. I had put, when it happened, right, when Carl threw the smoke grenade and got into the sewer, all I could think of was Ninja Turtles 1. Remember the leader of the foot? It was like, Ninja, vanish! They threw the smoke, and then they all disappeared. That's all I could think about when Carl did his disappearing act. So, that was pretty awesome. But Ezekiel, like, you see him in the background... I could just see a parody of that where he's like rolling around and dropping shit, and and you hear him like giggling like hee hee, and then, So let's see, where were we after that? So you got Ezekiel being all Batmanish, and you got Eugene. I put on there. I was like, Eugene, stop being so damn smart. You're too much of an asset to Negan. Mm-hmm. And then when Simon mentioned Sasha suffocating, it's like, we know Sasha didn't suffocate.
Didn't go down like that.
No,
that's. Maggie's options weren't looking too good until option 2, which wasn't so bad. But I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know why. I mean, I get why he let them go, because they're going to grow crops and all of that. But I still feel like he should have like took Maggie with him or something to show Negan like we got him. But
yeah, I guess he didn't see him as a threat,
Did you? We already mentioned. I thought he had shot Jerry at first, but it was Neil in the back seat. But did y'all watch it on TV or did you like download? Like, how did you watch?
Yeah, I watched it on TV.
Did you see the red machete?
Yeah, I did see that.
Was that Chris Christopherson?
No, it was cool as hell to see Joe. Like, you got to see Joe from the Claimers. That's whose throat that Rick bit out at the end of season 4.
I didn't realize that.
That's who at the very end when he walks up and he pulls the machete out of her stomach and he goes claimed, because remember that's what they did. They were the Claimers.
Oh man, I didn't connect those dots.
Yeah, it was Joe, man.
Cool.
I was
nice
like,
Easter egg,
throat intact.
Yeah.
Must have grown back.
Oh man, I love that. Like everything that happens, no matter what, Carl will not let that hat go. Like many times through the show, like the hat falls and
he's like Indiana Jones.
He's like, gotta have my hat. And then the house explosions, man, Alexandria. They got a spot on the like the death reel that they do on Fear of the not Fear of the Walking Dead, Talking Dead. There's like all these names, and it's like Alexandria.
Yeah. If one good thing comes from Carl dying, Rick gets his hat back.
It's one of those things where I want to be like,
win-win.
yeah, but it's. Oh man, Matt, I bet you didn't watch. Matt's, if you listen, Matt said he's not a big fan of Chris Hardwick, and I bet you last night if you'd have watched The Talking Dead, you'd have been thrilled to see they now have a limited edition Chris Hardwick Funko Pops.
Oh, that's amazing! I'm gonna order a whole crate of them, like blow them up,
like throw them in the ocean.
That'd be awesome. I don't want to litter. I don't want to.
True.
Well, maybe it depends. If it can make a nice ecosystem,
right? You
like
can turn it into like a reef.
Hardwick
You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's nice.
The great Hardwick reef.
Never mind. Then no,
you don't want to give him that much credit.
No.
Oh man, let's see. Like Dwight, JP, coming from the comics, we see the scene actually where Dwight kills his own people in the comics. Spoiler if you haven't. Is when they're at the wall and they're tossing the grenades over, and that's when Dwight guns down a couple of them. It was cool to see how they played that out. It was different, but it was still cool to see them keep that moment from the comics to show us like I like Dwight now.
Yeah. And at that point, he totally could have just, Eugene's going to play ball with him. He totally could have just, went with the program and said, insurrection off, forget about it.
I really was wondering how they were going to pull it off because I just did not like Dwight. Dwight. I just was not a fan. Like, I was like, I know how it goes in the comics and I'm going to end up pulling for him, but I don't like him. And now, by God, I like him.
He's coming around.
I wonder how long it takes to get that makeup on every day.
I bet it's uncomfortable too, man. And they're filming. They're filming in Virginia, aren't they? Yeah, they are.
They're filming in Georgia.
Are they? I thought some of it was being actually filmed in Virginia. Either way, what my point is, whether it's Georgia or Virginia is irrelevant. What I was going to say was this southern humidity. I bet being outside with that makeup on and the humidity that we have around here is just got to suck, man.
Caking on the powder.
I bet that has to suck. But, so I'm actually pulling for Dwight now, and I didn't think I was, so good for that. I love to see him gun those, but that girl got away, so now cat's out of the bag that Dwight's a traitor, so he can't go back.
You think Daryl's going to let the beef go at this point? He totally could have, took him out right then and there.
I think so. I think he's going to still try to play the deep brooding, like, oh, no, I said I'd kill him when this is done. That's when I'm going to do it. But I feel like he'll let it go.
Bygones be bygones.
Something might happen with Tara, though. I don't think Tara's going to let it go as easily.
Yeah.
I think as soon as she has a chance, she's going to take Dwight out. Ugh. She wants him, You just were not a fan of that, of her or her girlfriend, right? You're just like, I
didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. So I didn't like Denise.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to the podcast,
didn't like her
Matt
acting.
was not a fan of Denise.
I just didn't think she was a great actress. However, I don't like the character of Tara.
Yeah, right. It's not so much the actress as it is just the
not
character.
A fan of her
sucks.
character. Yeah, her character is
and that's Danny Masterson's sister.
Really?
Mm-hmm. How do you like that?
That's unfortunate for her now.
That's what I was just telling my girlfriend last night because I saw that Netflix dropped him or whatever. Right?
So because their new season of The Ranch starts
Hyde from that '70s show. That's
he's on The Ranch.
That's her brother. Yeah,
and they're writing him out after the
alleged rapist.
Yeah, well, he's being accused of something way back, like a lot of them are.
Yeah. Wow.
They just straight up.
So they dropped him.
I think he's a Scientologist as well.
He is.
Yeah.
I had I love how much I hate Negan. And then Negan in that damn spaghetti where he's like, I'll be at Rick's making spaghetti.
Yep.
But I told
Rick's
JP,
spaghetti.
man, earlier, I was like, dude, you got to at least give Negan some props, though, man. Negan is he could have easily set up saviors in that house to, ambush Rick when he came in, gun him down. I do like that Negan goes in there completely alone and, just wants to take him out himself, with no help. Negan is not all talk as we finally start to see, but that fight scene, however, I was kind of like, I really wish when Rick picked up the bat, he'd have actually just smashed his head instead of, poke you in the chest. Take that, Negan.
Palms are sweaty, knees weak,
arms are heavy.
There's Carl's been bitten already. Rick's spaghetti.
Oh man,
I see that Eugene's trying to go good, but I'm telling you, he's got a lot of making up to do. He can
still do it.
Come back
I believe
around.
in you, Eugene.
He'll come back around, and we'll all like him. But dude, he's got and I love when they're like, "You killed a guard," and he's like, "Laxatives."
Yeah, what is he? He's riding the porcelain.
He's all
highway or something.
By all accounts, he's probably shitting his pants.
Pretty much, yep.
Oh, man. I expected when Father Gabriel was like, why Eugene was going to go. Because I'm drunk, bitch. Yep. Get up before I sober up. But yeah, so Ezekiel back in action as we go. After that, we went back to the sanctuary to see Ezekiel back in action.
Ezekiel, no, don't.
Do you not? You like?
No, that's literally how Carol said it. When he closed it. Ezekiel, no, don't.
Ezekiel,
go back. Oh, it is. Don't. It was like, did you run out of steam at the end of the day? He was like, can we wrap this up?
I'm so ready to go have lunch.
Like they were probably, Melissa, could you deliver that line a little more? Ezekiel, no, don't. Okay, thank you, Melissa. Please, just a little bit more. Ezekiel, no, don't. That's as good as we're gonna get. Let's just wrap it for the day, guys.
You need to sound. Let's just take what we can get right now, because that's all. I love Cupcake ain't playing. And I love that Maggie, like this guy talks, steps out and is like, if Cupcake wants to make a scene, bow, like Maggie. That's one of her, and I like what Yvette Nicole Brown on The Talking Dead had said, because I felt the same way when I saw it. Like when she walks away, her face just shows kind of like the way, like she looks like a hard ass when she shoots him. And, she's like, put it out there where they can see it. And she starts walking back. But you can look at her face and just tell the emotion she's going through.
Her eyes are welling up and everything. That takes such talent to be able to.
Is that the first person Maggie's killed, just like point blank like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
it's the first person she's killed as the leader of the Hilltop.
Right.
She's killed some unnamed characters, but unless I'm forgetting someone, no major chargers. You know what I mean?
Like that, the guy said, No, we're good. She's like, anybody else want it? No, man. Is that what's going to happen? No, I'm just going to go over here and sit in my own shit.
I want to help you with the crops.
Oh, man.
And so Morgan's to the rescue, kind of. I mean, he was there listening on the other side of the wall, so I'm imagining as the next episode opens, we might see Morgan jump into action to save King Ezekiel.
Like a grappling hook go, and he swings over, and that'd be pretty cool.
I am the knight.
Love grappling hooks.
Oh, man, and then like when Michonne went into town, it was so awesome. Michonne, that sounds like the beginning of like an old Western song. Michonne rolled into town. Mm-hmm. But when she got to town, I loved it. And then when she was fighting the Savior and just right through the eye, it was just so. But the whole time she's walking, I'm like, Michonne better not die. Like I thought that's how it was going to play out. Carl got lost in the mix. She comes in to find him, save the town, and somebody was going to shoot her. I just kept waiting for a stray bullet to take someone out. Luckily, she survived, but I love it when Rick told Negan, like when they got to fight, and Rick's like, "Do you ever shut up?" Negan's like, "Nope," and then slings the bat. What did you guys think of the fight scene?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Well choreographed.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I saw some people complaining about it like online, but I enjoyed it. I like that we see that Negan's not all talk. Negan can throw down, man.
And he speared him out the window.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, Rick's just like, huh, what was that? Okay, gotta get out of here.
Oh, shit.
It's like if you hit a deer with your car and then the deer just like pops right back up and runs off into the woods. That's what it would take me a minute to catch my breath. But Rick was like, okay, that's enough. I'm going.
It's like the shock. He's just like, oh, gotta go.
I was going to use the door, but never mind.
I thought all Negan did was talk. He can fight. Gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean,
he can take a punch, too, man.
Rick's a brawler. So for Negan to, like, throw... I mean, she kind of got the surprise on him. But, I mean, for him to take it to Rick the way... I mean, I was like, I'm so glad to see that Negan is a brawler. I mean, we saw him take down Father Gabriel pretty easily, but... Father Gabriel's not really known for being the toughest guy in the group.
Influenza can take down Father Gabriel.
Boom. But yeah, I thought it was a good fight scene. I really just wanted to see Rick beat the hell out of him, but it kind of reminded me of like the Governor, which I think he got in more with the Governor per se. But like when Rick and the Governor fought, which Rick was hurt at that point, but Rick started off getting some good licks in, and the Governor ended up getting the best of him. And so I don't know, man. I love these like boss fights. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, and like I said, I had written down. I'm just glad that they showed how tough Negan is, and then we get to pretty much Michonne kicks some ass, and then we're down in the sewers where we find out that Carl has been bit.
Yep.
How did you react to it, JP? You weren't too happy. You were texting me about it last night. You aren't too happy with them going this route.
Yeah, well, it was a sinking feeling. I'm just mad at Sadiq. I mean, you've been living through the zombie apocalypse for this long, and you're still trying to like hunt zombies to free their souls or some silliness like that.
Right.
And Carl just goes along with it. Like, dude, do your thing. I mean,
look where it got Carl.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know, and I think my reaction to it's going to determine how they play it in the next episode. You know what I mean? It could be become like one of those meaningful deaths.
Oh,
that
if they skip to like where there's just a funeral, they're just like leaving a funeral or something, or the shovel goes in the ground.
No, they're definitely gonna do. All
right, y'all, let's go eat some spaghetti.
Now, I wouldn't put it past them to do a time jump to where it's like in the first episode, because we're gonna see a lot more out of Carl. But it wouldn't surprise me to start it off with them like standing by his grave and talking, and then kind of like flashing. Get to the point where we're again like, oh, dude, bring the black and white back, because I don't know where we are in time. I am losing myself.
Well, that'll be a good, if Carl's dead, then that'll be a good transition for me to know, if Carl's in it, then this is in the past.
Right.
Carl's not in it.
Which is
very confusing, because he was already dead.
Right.
So now he's even
According
deader.
to JP.
Is it like a vampire where you can be dead and you can be even more dead?
I thought we confirmed that a Flashpoint, tweaked the timeline a little bit.
Is that what we said?
All the way from the CW.
Makes sense.
Inside joke. If you don't know what that is, go back to season 6, listen to what was it? It was, you thought Carl got the bat, right? It was all just...
Yeah.
So if you want to know what we're talking about, go back to season 6 and check those out. But I just have so many questions because, all right, Rick's flash forward, which some people are like, no, that was a dream, kind of like with like Glenn and Abraham. It was him dreaming of like what the future could be. But it's like, man, that's oddly specific to the comics. I mean, he's got the cane, which we know he ends up with after All Out War is over. He has the short... like the flat top haircut, which in the comic it's more just like a low cut, but they did a flat top like my grandpa used to have. And then we see, we hear him mention the festival. Well, someone mentioned the festival, which if you read the comics is a big event in the comics. And then we do see Carl, but he walks by really fast. So perhaps maybe in that future, Rick's kind of seeing him the way he was seeing Lori, like kind of a ghost. But we do see Carl go by the camera. So
I was saying maybe it's Carl's like fever dream, like right before he dies, and he's telling oh, Dad, we were having a festival and you had a beard. It was so lovely.
That would just be very oddly specific that he would dream of the future, because then they'd be getting into like psychic.
Maybe he's like the third-eyed raven, or whatever.
I'm really the third-eyed raven.
I get these
the three-eyed raven.
Right.
Close enough.
I'm interested to see where they take it from here. I'm really interested to see. I don't know. I really think that's going to. That's going to determine my outlook on it is how they play it. I feel like it's going to be heart-wrenching. I feel like I'm going to be like, I'm not crying, you're crying. Meanwhile, I'm totally crying. All right, so now I think we covered the episode. I think that's the majority of all of the big things.
So I guess a lot did happen, but I feel like a lot of nothing happened. I don't know.
You're still tasting a lot of filler.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we do the ratings. We'll get to that.
Oh man! So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start. All right. So with the comments, it was crazy this past podcast. We got over 100 comments.
Over
100. It's so many, and I mean that would be like another hour to sit here and discuss every comment. So we're gonna start being a little more interactive in the comments section with you guys, and then we're gonna pick a few comments to actually read on the podcast, because as much as we love you, we don't want to take up too much more.
We need a whole other podcast just for the comments,
and it's a good problem to have. We're thrilled to have so many commenters and subscribers. I mean, we started this season in like the 400s. We're now like moving on through the 600s. Yep. So it's awesome. But with that said, we don't want to keep you the whole time. So we've got a few comments here, and what we're going to start doing is I'll read the comments this time. Matt will read them when we get back, and then JP will read the one after that, and we'll just keep rotating just to keep the flow going a little better. All right. So wait a minute. We've got this fancy new music.
Uh-oh.
And I was totally not going to use it.
Ooh.
Listener
comments. I'm going to try to get a fancy, smancy intro at some point for comment time. So Danny400 says, hey, fellas, first-time commenter here. Hello. My question is, as of the first 8 episodes of this season, where do you think it ranks in regards to others? I would have to sit down and really think about that. But he said on the bottom, past his selections here, he said, I agree with you on how they have made Daryl such an annoying character now. I have to turn up my TV volume to hear every word he mumbles. I don't want him to die, though, as your impressions of him are hilarious. Keep up the good work. I will make this vow to you right now, Danny400. If I was doing the Trump hands there, oh my God. If something happens to Daryl, we will continue to happily do Daryl impressions for you.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll pretend how Daryl is reacting watching this from heaven. Like, oh, come on, Rick.
That's really nice. You assume that he'll go to heaven.
Yeah, right. Maybe from down there, like, oh, it's hot. Rick, what are you doing?
It's actually ain't too bad.
Let's see. Moving back, longtime listener Sandburbia Pictures says the mid-season finale had some great moments sprinkled in, but was overall lackluster. Rick had 2 chances of killing Negan, bashing his face in with Lucille instead of just hitting his chest with her. I agree. And once he was thrown out the window, since he had his python with him, that's true. Like he could have just boom shot him through the window.
Oh, he was talking about his gun?
Yeah.
When he said that.
So like beat him over the head with it from out the window.
Yeah.
Rick keeps saying that he's the one who will kill Negan, but the directors or writers put him in stupid situations where he can do just that, but doesn't. And by the way, Rick Grimes would never run away from a fight. Horrible writing. And oh yeah, Carl was bitten off screen. Thank you, writers. Sorry I haven't been as present this season in the comments section. You know that I'm still here supporting you guys. Best Walking Dead podcast ever. Take care, beautiful people. Oh, that's so
really nice.
sweet.
Love you, Sanburbia.
I've seen pictures of him on Twitter where he's got a big sign outside saying, "Listen to the podcasting dead."
Oh, yeah.
That's not true. That's not true.
But I mean, we're not going to be mad if you do that now.
Yeah, just really nice guy.
So.
Just throwing an idea out there.
But I agree. I will say that the off-screen bite, like I said, if you actually go back and watch that, it hits home a lot more. I mean, I completely understand the sentiment, but the best way to look at it, I think, is to remember though, Carl isn't getting an off-screen death just yet. I mean, he's got the conditions for the death, but I mean, we're going to be there through the actual death, and who knows if they write it well, it could be he could have a very meaningful death. Mm-hmm. So it's just really time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see how they play that out.
I hope he becomes a sewer person.
That would be Ninja Turtle, man. He's got the Ninja Vanish going. He's lurking in the sewers. Mm-hmm. He's going to mutate.
He just needs to go find Shiva's body with the toxic waste.
All of the parts are in place for him to become like a Ninja Turtle. Yeah. Gage Waltner, another longtime listener, says two things. Number one, Dear AMC, please stop filming at night where it's too dark to see anything. Dude, I am with you on that. My TV is kind of dark. It's like playing Resident Evil 7. I have to turn the brightness way up just to know what's happening. And number two, Carl was ready to die to protect his people. Perhaps to be a noble martyr. Getting bit by a single walker off screen is not a notable death. Glenn and Herschel died with integrity. Dale died because he was incapable. Congratulations, Carl. You are now Dale. I don't quite.
No one should say that about a human being.
That's absolutely your opinion. And Gage, number one, thanks for listening. Number two, awesome. I feel like I see your issue with the off-screen thing, but at the same time, like I really do think that episode 9 is going to determine how they use that. Like it was an off-screen setup, but it's not an off-screen death. So I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to be hopeful here. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that they're going to do some good stuff. I'm really hoping that I'm going to be like I hope they have a flashback at some point, like showing Carl. I feel like they do that, and it's just we're going to lose it. My girlfriend of 4 years has not seen me cry once, and I think if they play the Carl thing right, that could change. I'm just saying, man. Now, skipping across to Mad Daryl. He calls us out by name.
Oh, dear.
Hey, Justin, Matt, and JP. Oh, no. What do you think Negan will do if he finds out Dwight is Rick's spy and has been helping him all along? Will he burn the other side of his face, or will he Lucille him?
That would look gnarly.
I think that's a hanging offense.
I think he would do both, man. Mm-hmm. I could see him doing both, just kind of like to putting the iron on the other side of his face just to mess him up and then beating him in front. I don't know, man. He's gonna find out though. I mean, someone knows that Dwight is betrayed them, and they're going to tell Negan.
Maybe Negan will get HR involved, get him some counseling.
They need to do that. They don't get HR involved in that.
No, not nearly.
No, they're kidding. And now moving to Vocalix C67145 says, what would you guys think if The Walking Dead is all just Carl telling the story? I had to throw that comment in there because we now know it's not. Aww. Unless the entire story up to this point has just been like his fever dream. And it's like, really, he's still like a little kid on the side of the road when all of this happened and he got bit and he's dying and imagined his dad coming back and being a hero. And, oh, man, that would suck. But anyways, I digress. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It was a great idea. It's still possible in the comics, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because for those that don't read the comics, I mean, spoiler alert, but Carl's still alive very well and actually starting to slowly become, I feel like, more of a focus. Not maybe so much in the last few issues, but I feel like they're setting him up to take over.
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend. He's doing really well for himself.
She licks his eye hole. It's really weird.
Gross.
Yeah, it's weird.
Unless that's his fetish. I don't know.
They seem to enjoy it, but...
Hot.
Moving on, Lannisters said after Beth died, Daryl just went downhill and his entire freaking character development was ruined. That's about the time because I'm going back now watching seasons... I started in 2 and I'm on like 3, almost at 4. And I agree. Like I loved Daryl during those seasons. He was starting to become more he was being more social. He was being he was holding the baby and calling her sweetheart and was very concerned about the group. And then it's like after Beth died, he just basically went emo and never came back. Then Glenn Abraham dying only took it further. And then getting captured and tortured took it even further. And Daryl's been through a lot.
He's a broken man.
I just, I don't know, man. And let's see. Savage Rick says, let's be honest. Daryl done effed up yet again and got someone else killed. By the time we see this, we all know who. Well, technically, Daryl didn't get him killed like we thought he was. And needs to get his ass whooped by Rick for being disloyal yet again. I do think Rick needs to,
lay down the law.
Yeah, show Daryl, like, man, look, every time you do some shit like this, look what happens. Papa Rick pops a plan, and a lot of times it works. But and then he says, I almost forgot to mention that Daryl didn't even go back for Rick. Never even mentioned him to Michonne, who also didn't bring Rick up once. Now Rick has always been my favorite character, which you probably could have guessed. I guess the name Savage Rick kind of gave that away. But that plan going to the junkyard was borderline idiotic. He was sitting in the train car all nonchalant with his friends and loved ones could all be dead. To be fair, and to possibly contradict everything I said, Rick still believed that Negan and everyone in the sanctuary was still trapped, so there's that. Anyway, I enjoy yet another entertaining podcast from you guys. Appreciate it a lot. Take care, bros. You too, bro.
Oh, thanks, bro.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I thought he had some kind of other plan with the scavengers. I thought people were going to come out the woods and be like, I don't know. That could have went wrong really, really quickly and just really.
If there was one plot line this season I didn't really dig is the whole scavenger thing.
Yeah, I agree. But like you said, also too, he thought that he had time because Negan and them were supposed to be trapped, and Daryl went and screwed that up.
Will you help
in combination
me? Yes,
with
we will
Eugene.
help you. Oh, never mind. We're good.
Next one, longtime listener, Jeep says, Negan said essentially that he won't die when he was talking to Eugene, which means he probably will. I seriously wish Dwight had shot Eugene. Makes me sick that he's chosen the side of the person that killed the guy that helped him out and pretty much saved his life. I'm a Daryl fan, but even I have to admit what he did was stupid. I thought that scene with Rick having to fight the new Winslow was kind of cheesy, actually. I remember what the heck happened. I wonder what the heck happened to the snipers that were at the sanctuary. I wouldn't think the Saviors just climbed up there and took them out unless they were out of ammo. I wonder if Aaron is back to Alexandria, or did he ever tell anyone else that the drainage pipe... I don't know. I never heard him mention the drainage pipe.
Neither did I.
But, I mean, it's a lot of off-camera stuff. I mean, it could have been mentioned like a town meeting or something. But that is true, taking it back to season 6. It would be a great way for everyone to escape when the Saviors come. Well, they did. So you kind of predicted the future. That's awesome. Still think Morgan and Carol are going to die. And I really hope that Eugene does now. Finally, did you call me a he again, JP?
Did I?
Jeep is a lady, and you constantly call her he, and she is tired of it.
Got to avoid pronouns altogether.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The commenter said. And finally, Laura Hogan says, Daryl shouldn't die. He's pissed. Don't blame him. They treated him like a dog, and I'd be in killing mode, too. I can agree with that. I'm kind of mad at Daryl right now. But, I mean, I see why. I mean, it's not the right... They've written him to be the way he is. Just don't want him to be the way he is. Like, come on, Daryl.
I hate everything about who you are.
I just wonder, I mean, I wonder if the bromance is done now. What about Rick and Dare Bear? Is that not going to be a thing anymore?
Definitely on the rocks.
Me and Dare Bear are taking time. He's going up to the hilltop. I'm going to go hang out at the Kingdom for a weekend, kind of find myself. Dare Bear. And then one last comment from Scrapbook Fashionata Designs by Rena says, oh my God, I've gotten tired of the same old people talking about The Walking Dead. You guys are a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that right? Carl did graduate and walk across the stage. A friend of mine has the flyer from the graduation with his name. That's really cool. She promises to send me one. Could she send us one too? Copy of it? Something? That'd be really cool. I would love to send you guys a link to our Walking Dead wrapped camper. But it keeps sending the comments to the spam folder. And they agreed, said, love season 2. It is by far my favorite. I feel you. Me too. So do you guys do any videos during the break? Yes, we do. We're about to start doing a lot more. We want to bring back JP Plays because JP doesn't play video games. So we want him to start playing these scary games.
They're very confusing. Yeah.
Matt and I might start doing some game commentating. We really are getting a lot of positive feedback about this, checking out some creepy abandoned haunted areas around here. So with the GoPros and everything, see if we can capture something creepy or so that, and we're working on a lot of stuff to keep us. We might bring back Walking Dead What Ifs, where we discuss possibilities to kind of hold us over. So just make sure you stay subscribed, and we'll see what comes up in the future.
2018 is going to be an awesome year. We got a lot of stuff in store.
And then I've got to say before we go, a shout out to Elisa Jett, who left a sweet comment because I see Matt's name in the comments a lot. I'll see JP's, and I'm just kind of like, man, I'm like that ugly stepchild. But Elisa Jett left a really sweet comment. It's like, no, you're ugly, but you're blood related. So I mean, my head just swelled up like 4 sizes. Yeah, I mean, it's like 3 years into it, and it's like, somebody knows my name.
That's nice.
But yeah, so now let's get to rating this episode. 6. Starting with Matt. 6. Oh, man. Wow, man.
It just wasn't.
That is a hard camper.
Not for a mid-season finale. I don't know.
Oh, man. JP, I think I'm going to be the only one, probably, like, all the commenters are probably going to side with Matt and be like, this sucked, but I enjoyed it.
Fight me, bro.
Gosh. Now I'm doubting my own judgment.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Don't do that, man. Rate it whatever you were going to rate it
all day long.
No, like I like where it ended. Some of the roads leading there. I wasn't, like I said, like the storyline with the scavengers or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about like the episode though, not the season.
You're right.
I'll go as high as a 6.5, but that's
it. All we're getting out of it.
Let's give this episode, and then we'll give the season thus far rating. How about that?
Okay, I gotta get back and look at my math. Hold on.
Do some calculations. All in all, I'll give it an 8. How do you like that? How do you like that?
Okay.
I like that. I like the Negan fight. I liked him at the gate.
There were good parts. Yep. Don't get me wrong, but overall, just
it didn't equal the sum of
the sum of the parts didn't equal the.
How does that go?
All fears.
The pie was more crust than filling.
There you go. There's no I in team, but there's an I in pie. There's an I in meat pie, and meat is an anagram of team.
I learned so much listening to you two.
Yep.
My girlfriend thinks I'm just smart. It's like, pfft.
You just did the Donald Trump. Yeah, when you said girlfriend, that was really weird.
Girlfriend. I'm not even going to say
She's
that.
the most beautiful girlfriend. No one has more beautiful girlfriends than me.
No one is better with women than me. No one.
She's super smart.
Our love is
wicked
huge.
Awesome.
It's huge.
It's huge. Huge.
Almost going into Paris Hilton there.
It's hot.
So, all right, I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 because I was between an 8 and 9. You said 8.
Y'all have a great day. Take it easy.
All right, so 8.5 because I loved it. I was tense. I was constantly like, what is going to happen? I really liked the way they did it with like Carl. I loved the Rick and Negan. We finally got to see them square off. Yeah. I loved, like I said, Negan at the gate was awesome. Yeah. It was hilarious yet chilling at the same time. It was like, I just really enjoyed the episode, man.
You know, maybe Matt had like a disagreeable meal before the show, and it just kind of soured, you know.
I had a tombstone pizza.
There you go.
But the oven like curled it, so half of it was like curled up.
This is about the pizza, not the show.
Middle of it wasn't melt. I don't know if it was the oven. I don't know if it was the pizza. Maybe I should let it thaw. It was a pepperoni, by the way. Really good pepperoni.
Did you just turn it up to 450 again and just throw it in?
I think that's where and I didn't preheat or anything.
Well, there you go.
I had a Tombstone Pizza Friday, as a matter of fact, though. Wow. Delicious. I love Tombstone.
They're good pizzas.
Mm-hmm. So I am excited to hear this. Matt, let's give the season a rating from the beginning of it till now.
It started off super strong, but kind of fizzled out. So I'm going to say, overall, give this season a 7.
Oh, that's better than I thought.
6.8.
Nope,
6.8.
Stay with the 7.
Yeah.
Stay with the 7. That's a lot better than I thought you were going to give it.
Me too.
So awesome,
Me too.
Man. That's like, can I take it back?
Apparently I can't.
JP?
Yeah, I'll go 8. Let's say 8. I'll go 8.
You're dumb.
I'll go 8. You and your curly pizza.
I can't.
You're probably...
Oh man! From the beginning till now, I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go between the two of you again. Okay. I don't always mean to do that, but I'm gonna go with a 7.5 because I don't want to go up to 9 because I don't feel like the season thus far deserves a 9, but I don't want to go down to a 6. So, you know,
but I don't have the same scores. We can share scores.
What did you say?
I said an 8.
I'm not going 8.
I'm going to go 7.5.
All right.
7.5.
Stick with that.
I mean, I've enjoyed it. Like, I have my issues with it. And I agree with what JP said. There are some roads that have led to this season where I'm just kind of like, But with that said, you know, I still have enjoyed this season, and I'm super, super excited to see like what it holds going into the next episode and next half of the season.
February.
We've got 2 months.
Oh, gosh.
Did that music scare you too?
It scared me,
Oh, man, you started that up and I wasn't aware. And it's just like, what is that?
We've got 2 months until we come back, but don't go anywhere. Like, I mean, you can go somewhere now because this podcast is over. But keep a watch on our account because we definitely plan to keep doing things in between now and then. Long podcast, I know, but it was a long episode.
It was an hour and a half.
Yeah, so it was a lot more to cover. But we appreciate you listening. We're so glad to have grown with you this season, and we can't wait to see what the next half of the season brings and what we're going to do here. So any ideas you have for things that you want to see us do, please leave them in the comments section. We listener interaction is like our favorite part of this entire ordeal. So I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Matt.
And JP.
Yes, you are.